In the quiet village of Oakhaven, Ilara felt cold inside. Her family used to be rich and important, but now they were poor and broken. Her father was gone, and her mother was weak. Ilara blamed one person for everything bad that happened: King Theron. He was the one who signed the paper that took their land and ruined their lives. He is a mean king, she often told herself, a bad ruler. Ilara was young and smart. She decided she would make the king pay. She found a way to work in the royal palace as a lady in waiting. Her plan was clear: get close to him, find his weak spots, and then hurt him. The palace was very big and shiny with gold, but Ilara only saw its cold, hard walls. King Theron was a tall man with sharp, serious eyes. He almost never smiled. To Ilara, he looked like a statue made of stone with no feelings. She watched him give orders, sign papers, and talk to his helpers. Everything he did, every word he spoke, filled her heart with more hate. She truly thought he cared nothing for his people, only for his own power. One night, as she cleaned his private room, she heard him talking quietly with Lord Valerius, his main helper. Valerius was a smooth man who always smiled, but Ilara felt a little scared of him. The lords in the north are getting restless, King, Valerius said. They say your last order was too hard. King Theron let out a long, tired breath. Hard, yes, maybe, the king answered, his voice very soft, but it was needed to keep the kingdom safe. Ilara stopped, hidden by a big curtain. He sounded sad, not mean. It was a tiny moment, but it made a small hole in her angry thoughts about him. Later that same night, Ilara saw King Theron alone in his room. He was not working. He stood by a small secret table, holding a strange, dark stone. He whispered words Ilara could not understand. His face looked full of pain. He seemed like he was fighting something hidden, something very bad. He was not just a powerful king, he was a man hurting deeply. Alara kept working as a lady in waiting. She watched King Theron closely. She still had hate in her heart, but slowly things began to change. She saw him late at night, bending over old maps. His shoulders looked heavy and very tired. She saw him gently pat the head of a stable boy who fell. Once, a runner brought news of a bad sickness in a town far away. Ilara saw a quick look of real pain in the king's eyes, then he quickly hid it. He looked like he was carrying all the sadness of the world. He was not mean, he was broken inside. Lady Seraphina, another lady in waiting, was kind and liked to talk. She often told old stories about the palace. The king was different once, Seraphina whispered one day. Before the Great Trouble, he used to laugh a lot. Then Lord Valerius came, and he seemed to tell the king many dark things. Ilara remembered that her own family's ruin happened right during that great trouble. Could Valerius, with his smooth smile, be the true enemy? Ilara's hate started to shake, like a candle flame in the wind. It was confusing. She found herself looking at old wall hangings and pictures. She saw signs and patterns that seemed to tell a different story. She found very old books hidden deep in the palace library. They talked about a shadow king, not a real person, but a powerful old darkness that could slowly take over a ruler's mind. It grew stronger from the kingdom's fear and sadness. The king's strange secret acts, his dark stone, his pain. He was not just ruling, he was fighting something very bad. Her hate went away. It turned into sadness for him, then worry, and slowly she began to respect him. Ilara had to know the whole truth.
L'âme peine, il vit. L'âme peine, il vit mes pas.
She spent all her free time looking deeper. She linked the Shadow King's stories to her family's disaster. She saw how Lord Valerius, just like his father before him, was trying to make the darkness stronger. He wanted to turn the king into a puppet. Then came the shocking truth. Like a cold splash of water, her family was not punished, they were protected. Valerius, or his bad father, had tried to use Elara's family, who had old magic, in a dark ritual for the Shadow King. King Theron's punishment of her family was a desperate act. By making them seem weak and unimportant, by taking their land, he made them useless to the Shadow King. This saved them from a terrible fate. He gave up his good name, his peace, and his people's love to save her family from a great evil. He could not tell anyone the truth, because that would have made the Shadow King even stronger. Ilara felt a huge wave of guilt. All this time, she had hated a man who had secretly saved her family. Tears streamed down her face, and then a new feeling bloomed in her heart, soft and amazing love. A deep, quiet, heartbreaking love for this king. He carried such a heavy secret. He chose to save others, even if it meant looking bad, and he silently took all her hate. She read on. The old papers showed the final step of the curse. On a special date, the Shadow King would fully take over King Theron's mind. He would become a terrible puppet king. There was only one way to stop it, a secret magic act. The king's death was needed to break the curse. It would cut the Shadow King's hold on the king and the kingdom. And the most awful twist of all, she was the only one who could do it. Her family, sadly, had the key. The love in her heart felt like stone as she understood her terrible duty. Just as she figured it out, Lord Valerius appeared. His eyes were sharp. "You know too much, little bird," he hissed. He knew.
Il attend devant cette photo d'antan.
Ilara ran from Valerius. She held the old papers tight. She had to warn the king. She burst into his private room. "King!" she cried out of breath. "Lord Valerius is bad. He tricked my family. He wants to hurt you and the kingdom." King Theron's eyes, usually full of sadness, now held a deep, quiet understanding as he read the papers. He looked at Ilara, then back at the old writings. I knew," he said softly, his voice full of pain. "Not all the truth, not this big plan to hurt me, but I thought something was wrong. I let him stay because he was very powerful. I was waiting for proof." He then told her the whole story of the Shadow King and the awful choice, become a puppet or be killed to break the curse. He told her she was the only one who could do the magic act. It was a very sad moment. Their secret love and shared pain showed between them. She came to kill him because of hate. Now she would kill him because of love. The day of the killing came. Ilara got ready. Her heart felt very heavy. The act had to look real to fool Valerius and the Shadow King. King Theron would appear in public. Ilara would be close, as his helper. She held a special old knife. It was not for truly killing, but for a magic cut that would look deadly. In the big hall, King Theron greeted his people. Ilara moved forward, her face showing deep sadness. As if by accident, she seemed to trip. Then she jumped forward. The knife flashed. It went into his chest, just above his heart. Everyone gasped. King Theron's eyes met hers one last time. There was a quick moment of shared understanding. Then he fell. Valerius, watching from the side, smirked. He thought his bad plan had worked, but it was a trick. The death was a magic act to break the curse. The king's true self, free from the Shadow King's hold, was sent away to a safe, secret place. The body that fell was just an empty shape. Valerius, thinking the king was gone and the throne was his, stepped forward to become king. But his own link to the Shadow King, too, was cut by Ilara's magic act. The old darkness, which got its power from the king, slowly started to disappear. Valerius's bad plans were then shown to everyone. With his dark power gone, his mind broke. All his lies and his wish for power came out. He was put in prison. The kingdom was safe. No one knew the full truth, but it was all thanks to Ilara's terrible act of love. Ilara never spoke of what really happened. King Theron never came back to the throne. His death was a public sadness. Ilara became a trusted helper to the new ruler. She worked in the shadows, keeping the kingdom safe. Sometimes she would gently touch a small, hidden locket, a gift from King Theron, with a tiny carved bird inside. Her face would show both sadness and a deep, lasting love. She had hated him, then loved him more than anything, and she took his public life to save his heart and his kingdom. It was the biggest, most secret love story of all time.
Is mine.